In the run-up to Bristol Watch Show, I am very lucky to be joined by Sophie Scott-Lewis, the artist and watch collector. She will be attending the show this year for the second time, and she'll be bringing along some of the pieces. So we'll take a look at her journey as an artist and as a watch collector and some of the watches that she's brought today. So let's get into it. Well, Sophie, it's lovely to see you again. Thank you for coming in.
Nice to see you too, Tom.
Yeah, it's been a while since we last met. Was it Red Bar, Oxford? I think
so. I've met you at a couple of red bars. It was Oxford last time, a few months ago, wasn't it?
That was a lovely day. The sun was setting, it was by the river, and lots of great watches and great people there as well. So
yeah, an outdoor affair.
Good fun, absolutely. I wanted to chat to you today because I'm sure most people will know you for your art, but you are a watch lover as well, hence why you draw watches. So what got you into watches initially?
It kind of happened threefold. When I was about 10 years old, I found a Swatch that I fell in love with immediately at, I think it was an Ernest Jones or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then later on, my brother started working for himself and bought himself a really expensive U-boat. Well, I say really expensive. To me then, it was really expensive and I couldn't afford one. And I fell in love with that too. And so decided to find a fashion watch that would fit that bill. And that was kind of when I was about late teens, I think. And then a few years ago, I was looking for an anniversary watch. I wanted it to be special, so I started researching it. And then, like so many of us, fell down the rabbit hole of watches and found a Hamilton in Dramatic in two colours. So myself and my partner got the Panda and reverse Panda. But having fallen down that rabbit hole, I managed to buy two watches before I actually got to buy that. So yeah, it's deep. I'm deep in the rabbit hole now.
It's easy to fall, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I'm still falling.
It's amazing. We will touch on your collection in a bit, but I also wanted to ask about your drawings because they're so detailed and technical. But can you remember the first watch that you drew?
Yeah, I can. It was what is my Grail watch, which is the Lange Zeitwerk. I have another Grail watch too, but it was that one I was drawing because I thought I will never be able to afford this watch. So why don't I draw it and put it on my wall and I can look at it large? And I had my father-in-law come to stay. He was really intrigued by what I was doing. He said, he used to work in marketing. He said, why don't you contact brands and see if you can, collaborate with them on something? So I thought he was mad and then sat with that for a while and then realised, well, why not? I worked in marketing for 13 years, working with big brands. And I thought, why couldn't I do that to assist brands in, storytelling and statement artwork for their showrooms? So that's what I did. And then about 2 years ago, maybe just under, I set up and I haven't looked back.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
That's great. And you've been full-time ever since then, haven't you? This is your passion and your job.
Yeah, my job.
That's brilliant. That's amazing. So you've not only do you do your drawings and stuff, but you've also been able to work on some collaboration watches recently, which is very cool. You were the dial designer for the Isotope British Watchmakers Day limited edition. What was that like working with Jose and the team at Isotope?
It was surreal, really, because I contacted Jose, I think it was last September, and it was about the graphite artwork that I do. I said, would you be interested in working together on a statement piece for, your showroom or, your marketing? And he said, I absolutely would. The Moonshot chronograph is coming out and I would love you to do that. So I did that, and it is, I don't know whether you've seen it, it's a fantastic sort of sci-fi inspired piece, which has just won an award. So congratulations to Jose.
The Toronto Watch Show, wasn't it?
Yeah, he works so incredibly hard and he and his wife are so passionate about what they do. He also said at the same time, I'm actually looking to get 2 dial designs done for British Watchmakers Day. Would you be interested? And I had a split second to think about it because I was on the telephone call with him and said, actually, I would love to do that. I've been a designer for years now and I can absolutely do that for you. And he gave me the most open-ended brief, which for a designer, that's really wonderful. He said, I would like it to show the Union flag. There's 2. So each have got to show the Union flag. It's got to be red, white and blue. And that was pretty much all he gave me, which was a dream. And he is a dream to work with. So I worked with, I tried to pay homage basically to the materials that we used. Jose was using micro marqueterie, which is like tiny straws done by an amazing artisan who I think is only one of 3 or 4 in the world that do it, called Bernardo de Ore. So I made a fragmented Union flag for that watch, paying homage to the straight lines of the straws. And then there was another watch for Jose, which was cloisonné, which is like a liquid form of glass. And I wanted that design to be really flowing. So that takes on a totally different feel to the micro-marquetry. So yeah, that was really, really fun to do.
That's really cool. And it is a beautiful watch, and I really love the dial design. So
thank you.
Great work there. So are there any brands that you would love to work with in a dream scenario in the future?
There are so many that I would love to work with. There is a brand that is relatively new, I believe, called Famel Hut, which is, I think they're from China. And I've spoken to the watchmaker, actually. They have got the Mobius. It's like an oval shaped watch, and it is so architectural. I would love to draw that side on as a landscape. So that would be something that I would really, really love to do. But there are so many. I mean, there's a watch brand called Greubel Forsey, who I'm sure a lot of your listeners know about, sort of high horology, and they have got the most distinctive, gorgeous dials that sort of break out the norm of watches. So although they're in circular cases, they have sections that sort of come off the dial, and they just have a really interesting way of seeking perfection in their watches. So I would absolutely love to work with those guys. That is a dream, and I'm sure not an obtainable dream, but still a dream nonetheless.
No. Anyone from Greubel Forsey's watching, get in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess for you as an artist as well, it must be more rewarding to draw the more complex, more unique stuff, because a Speedmaster is a beautiful watch, but it's circles on circles. But something like that must be more interesting for you.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
absolutely. I've worked with Fairer on their Markham II, which I'm actually wearing.
Oh, brilliant.
And it's got the most detailed dial. And it was possibly the hardest dial to draw because it's got a sort of guilloche stamped effect on the dial. So there's lots of different ways that these triangles and these indentations play with the light, which is really difficult to replicate because it's not the same all the way around. It's sort of the way the light falls on the top is different to how it falls around the sides and around the bottom. So that was really difficult, but because I find such joy in spending time just with a piece of paper and a pencil, that is like my dream. So yeah, I'm really, really thankful for watch brands to trust me to sort of bring their watches to life on the page, and the more detailed, the better, really.
That's amazing. So you clearly get a lot of love from watch brands, and it's well deserved, of course. But you went to Bristol Watch Show last year. What was the response like for the attendees there, and being able to see your art in person?
Well, I was relatively new, actually. But everyone was so kind and so sort of supportive about it, and they loved the work, which was lovely because it was the first time I'd shown my work outside of my studio, actually. The watch portraits. I'd done car portraits and things before, and it was just lovely to spend time with people who were as excited as I am about watches and talk about art, because there's definitely a crossover, isn't there, between watches and art. It's not just here's a watch and here's a piece of art. It is a piece of art on the wrist, isn't it? So it was lovely to talk to people about their watches and their stories, and the collaborations that I could have with them as well on watch art for their homes. So it was a really exciting moment for my watch journey, I suppose, and my career. Yeah.
Wow. It's quite a place to start showing your art outside as well. I mean, galleries have like showcases and stuff, but to actually be in front of watch enthusiasts must have been a bit daunting. Yeah.
It was, because they are, they've got the knowledge that I didn't have, because I'd only just
as well.
Yeah, exactly. They have got opinions. But do you know what? I think that's really special, to have opinions, but be supportive at the same time. I don't like this, but I think this is great. It was just really a lovely moment in my career where I could connect for the first time with people that like watches and see what they would like drawn, and the stories behind their watches. Because when I draw a watch, it's not just me drawing a watch, it's me trying to bring the story of their watch to life through the page. It would be a very quick thing to do just to replicate the watch on the page. But bringing in their story and listening to their stories as well before I draw the watch, then that's what makes it special, I think, for them and for me.
Absolutely, and it is the stories that make these things what they are, and it's why we love them so much. So you must be looking forward to this year's show then.
Yeah, I am. It'd be nice to go back and see some familiar faces. I made some good friends there, yeah.
Can we expect some new artwork at the show?
Yeah, so last time I had a lot of work with me that was kind of personal focused stuff that I had done, self-generated stuff. This time I'm going to be bringing along the stuff I've been doing for brands over the last year. So there's quite a bit. I'm going to try and sort of pare it back before I come. I've got a lot of things that I think I can bring. I've got to choose between them. But I want to bring the fairer piece that I did so people can see the detail, the real detail that goes into these pieces. I get often asked about how quick I can do these pieces, and they seem shocked when I say, 60, 100, 120 hours working on one piece of art. So, yeah, if I can show them the reasons why it takes that long, then, yeah, it makes for a good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people will appreciate that as well, because they can appreciate that something that goes into a fine watch takes a long time because it's a craft. So I'm sure they would be understanding.
Absolutely, yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, we have some of your pieces in. I've heard this isn't the whole collection, some pieces at home, but a very impressive collection nonetheless. So can we take a look at some of these?
Yeah, sure. It isn't my entire collection. I've got a few sort of older pieces and fashion watches that I didn't want to bore you with. So there's a range of different budgets that I spent on these, from the F91W, my yellow piece here, which I think a lot of people know me for yellow watches. Mm-hmm. They perhaps don't know that I've got quite so many yellow watches. And then all the way up to what was my Grail watch. I couldn't afford this for so long, but really, really wanted it. As soon as I started looking into watches, this is the piece that really stood out at me, and it's the Cartier Santos de Cartier. And it's a medium. I'm actually thinking about swapping this. Well, not swapping it, but exchanging this and getting the smaller version.
Okay.
But recently I have been thinking twice about that, because I like big watches, and I know that's not trendy right now. I know a lot of people like smaller watches, both men and women. And I seem to be kind of an outlier with the big watches, but you wear what you wear because you like it, don't you? So, yeah, I think I'm going to stick with it.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
going to stick with that, yeah.
So you said it was your Grail watch. Now that you've got it, it's no longer a Grail. So what's the new Grail?
Well, I've talked a bit about Greubel Forsey in the past, and they've got a piece called Art Piece 1. And because I'm an artist, I think I was drawn to this piece because it's a collaboration with another artist, a different discipline of art. It's micro sculpture. There's an artist called Willard Wigan, who is a British artist who worked with the guys at Greubel Forsey and created this tiny boat sculpture that sits within the crown. I don't know if you've heard about this, Tom.
I actually haven't seen this, no.
Oh, you should look it up. It's really good. So in the crown, he's put this tiny, tiny sculpture in. He makes his sculptures in the eye of needles, and they're so detailed.
Whoa.
It is. You should definitely look it up.
Yeah,
and
I
your
am.
viewers, you should definitely look this up. And I think Greubel Forsey, the guys there, they had to work for a year on creating a magnifying glass for the crown that was strong enough for the wearer to be able to look at it closely and be able to see the piece of art that Willard had done. The dial design is classic Greubel Forsey. It's exciting, it's artistic, it's pushing boundaries, it's always in pursuit of perfection. But it's the crown that makes it my Grail watch. If I could buy just the crown and have that displayed, I would absolutely do that. But that is my new Grail. It used to be the Zeitwerk, which is from Lange, which still is a Grail watch of mine. I mean, who's to say you don't just have to have one, do you? You can have more than one. So, and I'm sure that list will grow, but Greubel Forsey Art Piece 1 is definitely.
Wow. I am looking that up. As soon as we're done filming, we're taking a look at that. So you mentioned the Hamiltons, the anniversary presents. So can we take a look at those?
Yeah, absolutely. Myself and my other half bought these for a big anniversary, and I decided that Hamilton was a great brand to go for. Hamilton are a really dependable brand, and she really liked the design of the panda and reverse panda. So this is her watch, and this one is mine. I have to say she doesn't wear it much because it's quite often on my wrist, but that's just what it's like being married to a watch collector. So
you've got two watches. What a shame.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the yellow is definitely a theme. I've noticed the Speedmaster, which is you'd be hard pressed not to notice it, but also it's a limited edition, isn't it?
I don't think it's a limited edition, actually. I think it's possibly, yes, it possibly is a limited run, but I don't think it was made to be limited. I think it was just
numbered.
No,
Anything.
I don't think it was numbered. There was, there's a few of them. There's a red one and a blue one as well, and it's a reduced size, and I think it's the piece that people know me the most for online.
It's the stuff I see on Instagram with the most.
Yeah. It's got a few photos on there. This is my absolute favourite shade of yellow, and being an artist, I'm not too worried about the movements, and I'm not too worried about, plus or minus however many seconds it loses a day. What I really get drawn to watches for is their design and the way brands push boundaries with their designs. And you don't often see a yellow Omega, so I was instantly drawn to that in my favourite colour. So I had to have it, and it's something that I wear quite often in my studio. Because I work with black and white graphite all day, every day, it just brings a little bit of sunshine to my wrists. So I really enjoy the colour. And that's why I think the whole collection is quite colourful. So, yeah,
It is a beautiful shade of yellow, isn't it?
It is really stunning, yeah. And I've tried to find it in other brands, and Marloe's the closest I could find. This is one that I found at the British Watchmakers' Day, which was a birthday present, actually. It is heavy, it is big, but like I've said, I really enjoy... I love a big watch, but I really enjoy the weight of a watch as well, and I know that isn't particularly popular either amongst watch collectors. They like a slim one that fits under the cuff. I don't wear cuffs for my job. I don't wear a shirt, so I like something to have presence on my wrist, something that I'm going to see out of the corner of my eye, and something that's going to make me smile. And so that's why the Marloe, A Decade in Time, is in my collection.
That's brilliant. Yeah, it's complementing shades of yellow. It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
I noticed you got a pocket watch over there in the right-hand corner. So yesterday we were at Horological Underground, and hopefully that video's gone out by now. But we were showing some incredible pocket watches, and I was just blown away by not only the quality of the movements, but also the value. So how did you come across this piece in particular?
So this I found at an antique shop. This is a Waltham pocket watch, which actually I was contacted by the Financial Times, a reporter there who wanted to discuss this with me for an article that actually has been published recently. And she saw it on my Instagram page, and I think it's due to the fact that more and more people are choosing pocket watches. And I think we were discussing before, Tom, that the price is going up for pocket watches.
Yeah, they're creeping up.
They are creeping up. And that's amazing, because I'm really excited about pocket watches. And so if I've had a tiny little bit of impact there, especially with female watch collectors, to wear pocket watches, I just think it's fabulous. I think more women should be involved in not only watch collecting, but pocket watch collecting. So that won't be my last pocket watch. This will be just one of many, I'm sure.
Brilliant.
It's got a lovely movement at the back as well.
And then finally I want to touch on the watch you're wearing, because you mentioned it was probably the most complex drawing that you've done, but you're actually wearing the watch itself. Can we take a look at this Farah?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Farah's Markham II World Timer. And this was one of the watches I bought before I bought my anniversary watch. So a little present to myself. And I really love a complicated dial. I love complications in general. And the World Timer complication just gives me that sort of sense of adventure. I don't go abroad too much, but I do go abroad. And it's nice to think of myself as a bit of an adventurer and, jet setting and stuff. And so it's buying a story, isn't it? It's buying a lifestyle, I guess. And that's what we do as watch collectors. We aren't all divers, we aren't all explorers, but we buy these watches because they help us satisfy the urge that we have to be these people, whether we're a polar explorer or someone who's climbing Everest. We buy into these stories because they make us feel something. And the Markham II did that for me. I actually, Tom, found out about Farah on the WatchGecko channel. So really? You had James on, who was talking about, it was the Orangina, I think, one of their pieces from a while ago, which I also want. And yeah, so that's why I thought.
That's very cool, yeah. It has been a while since we've done a video with Farah. I think we need to change that.
Get them back, yeah.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful watch, and such a beautiful collection as well. I love the variety, but also every piece tells a story, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
That's amazing.
Yeah. This piece here is the first watch I ever had. So when I was 10, this is the Swatch musicale, which plays a little tune. I'm not going to bore you with that, but it's that's the first piece, which I managed to find actually on eBay recently.
Do you just push the crown in?
Hold it, yeah.
Let's see if we can... There it is. It's catchy.
Yeah, it is. It goes on for a while.
So this is the one that started it all then?
It started it all, yeah, it did.
Oh, and then the hands do a little dance.
They do. They're
That's cool.
dancing hands, yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
What more would a 10-year-old want?
Nice. So playground, that's the talk of the playground, that is.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Sophie, thank you so much for coming in. It's been lovely to see you again and spend some more time with you and to see your watch collection. Where is the best place for people to find you if they want to see your work?
Well, thank you for having me. I've had a really lovely time, Tom. You can see me on Instagram, Sophie Scott-Lewis Art, or you can check my website out, sophiescottlewis.com. Or I've got a new YouTube channel, so be kind, it's The Artist of Time.
Brilliant. And we hope to see you all at the Bristol Watch Show as well. A link for which will be in the description below where you can get yourself tickets. All of Sophie's links will also be in the description. And while you're down there, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the WatchGecko channel. But until the next one, I'll see you all very soon.